And we
West
got
Coast?
the artist, Tre Prada in the building.
Hey, what's going on with y'all, man? How y'all feeling today?
Feeling amazing.
Likewise.
Yo,
Being
so
here.
let's get into it. So you from Uptown, right?
Born and raised, yeah.
So, do you know an artist that's out right now that had a hit single with Chris Brown that's from Uptown?
Are we talking about PNB? Not PNB from North, huh?
Yeah.
He put you right on the spot.
Is Blake Winters considered Uptown?
Yeah, but he don't have a song with
I know you wrote
Chris
something
Brown.
for him. All right, so I'm stumped. Who is it?
There's an artist who has a song with Chris Brown. So Little Dicky.
Oh, okay.
You ain't know he was from Uptown?
No, I really didn't. I thought he was from
L.A.
outside the shop. No, I knew he's from like Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I just didn't know he was from Uptown.
Yup.
I didn't know that either. I think I just
Stop
learned
that and
something.
I talk about that boy all the time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had no idea because you know what? He came out subtly. Like nobody.
I actually heard about Dickie for a minute.
Yeah,
Oh, you
he's been
did?
around.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
So shout out to Dickie, man. He been working, man. I'm happy he finally getting his props, man. So
Yeah.
definitely put
So
on.
let's go into it. How you get Prada? Tre Prada.
All right, man. So my name used to be Tre Prada G, right?
Okay.
When I was younger. So I went through like a transition, like a growing up phase. So basically, it was one of my engineers at the time. His name's Wally. Shout out to Wally. We was going through like different I guess like vibes of like what direction we wanted to go for as an artist, and he just like always just called me like Prada for short, like you know what I mean, like it was like short for Prodigy or whatever. And then like basically we just like took that and then I made it like an acronym. So Tre Prada is an acronym. So Tre, time reveals everything. Prada is power reveals. Power rules all dominant agendas. So that's what Tre Prada stands
We
for.
stay having some smart people on this podcast.
A little intricate, a little.
He dropped some weight. Like, we be having these, people be like low key woke, and maybe, I feel like you're high key woke because when I look at your social media page, you're just talking about all things prevalent to what's going on in the world. And you heard me have questions, Steve, about over incarcerations and we have the whole Kaepernick and him standing up for the injustice of police killing people and so on and so forth. How do you feel as an artist about that, and do you feel like your platform could be used or should be used for those topics?
I feel like at the end of the day, it's a duty for like not only all.
Make sure you speak into
I feel like it's a duty for like all Americans, African Americans, white Americans, Hispanic, period. Not even just Americans, people all over the world. Everybody should, if they see something wrong or feel something is wrong, to speak on it, period. Now, for people that have a platform like musicians, entertainers, athletes, they really have a bigger responsibility because they have more influence on people and, the world and laws and changing that. So I feel like it's definitely a duty as an entertainer to speak on.
That's nice to know because a lot of entertainers don't express that.
Yeah.
I mean, and the reason why is they're afraid of losing endorsements. You know what I mean? They're afraid, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, somebody got to do it.
And Kaepernick probably set the bar, showing that, look, stand up for what you believe in, and, people would cave in because Nike, even though they profited tremendously, they still stood behind the cause, and that was very monumental.
Yeah.
How long you been doing this music thing for?
I've been doing music since I was 12. I started recording and being an actual recording artist at the age of 13.
At 13,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you play any instruments as well, or is
No. Besides my music, I'm also a videographer, so I direct my own.
Oh, you're a
videos.
videographer.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So how do you balance that?
Well, it's really all in the creative process. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like when I record my music, I hear it like a movie, or I hear it like a video, or I see it like that. You know what I mean? So when I go into the process of actually recording, I write like it's a movie basically. And when I get into the phase of actually doing the video, it makes everything easier. So it's just,
that's awesome.
Yeah, second
That's
nature.
new.
So now you just need your own studio.
Yeah, basically.
That cuts down all budgets.
Yeah, definitely.
You shoot your own video in your own studio?
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Your money, you like, yeah.
I need all that.
Let's get into this song. We have your is this your lead song off an album, or is this a product? Is just a song you're dropping? Or
Speaking about John?
John.
John is currently my single from off my album. It's definitely my lead single. It's out right now.
What's the name of the album?
Time Reveals Everything.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so
and that's out now on all
now.
music platforms.
Yep.
Everyone can find it.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into Tre Prada's lead single off of his album, Time Reveals Everything. It's called John, which
John.
is a total Philly slang. So that's
John.
really representative.
Like
that.
you a John.
You better believe it. All right, let's go. It's the Drop Night Show on Water Ice Radio.
That shit is fire.
All right, so basically what
Tell
happened
us
was,
who the producer is.
all right, first my man Jay Relentless.
Okay.
Shout out to Jay Relentless. He in Texas, man. Texas producer. He's actually from New Orleans, but he live in Texas now.
Okay.
He's fire. He did a lot of stuff. Soldier Boy, Rich the Kid.
Hey.
A lot of people. But yeah, he's dope. So yeah, basically I heard the beat, and usually when I hear a beat, I come up with like the melody. So I don't know. I just heard it. I was just like kind of humming to it. And I don't know. Mind you, like. I don't really remember why I said John, but then when I did it, it just made sense, and I was like, "That's my John." It just made sense, and it just like went from there.
So what's your everyone who does not know, John is a Philadelphia slang term for
literally
everything.
It can mean anything.
So that's
person,
what's
place,
your
or thing.
okay. So your definition is as true as the name for John. All right.
Person, place, or thing. It can be anything.
It could be anything. So, but it has taken off. Everybody's saying John now.
It's definitely going worldwide.
See,
it's not
she-
just a Philly
she's
thing,
from
not tri-state.
Jersey.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you gotta excuse her. She's not familiar with those words.
Oh man, he came for you.
Yeah.
He came for you.
Let me give him life right now.
Go ahead.
Okay, we just gonna give you a little bit of right. All right. So, being from Uptown, what was it like growing up for you? What was it?
So really like, it was like one of those things where my mom, she was like a big inspiration to me. She worked her ass off. Like she worked so much I barely seen her. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how much she worked. So shout out to my mom.
Yeah,
Black
mom
strong
dudes.
woman.
So I spent a lot of time with my grandma, and I spent a lot of time for myself. So basically, it was just like coming into manhood, trying to figure out how to go about life and how to become a man without really having a man, but just basically learning off experiences.
Do you have siblings?
No, well now I currently do. At 18 years later after
Your mom had another child.
18 years later.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, my little brother's birthday today, so happy birthday to you, brother.
Happy birthday.
bro.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah, man. So once she decided I'm an adult, that she wanted to have another.
That was
But
smart.
it was definitely.
Somebody to babysit,
Is she
you know,
young?
you know?
Your mom young?
She's young. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
If you
mean?
you don't
To
what you
have a
mean?
child listen.
If
Yeah,
you
yeah.
physically fit and able as a
Yeah.
woman, God don't stop it. You can have a child wherever a child.
Yeah,
There's
shout out to-
people.
I don't want to have a child when I turn 40. No.
Nah.
Well,
So
you need to hurry up. That's like 2 years away.
Came for you.
Right back at you.
Yeah.
So that's what's up. Having a strong support system and your creativity as a child must have took off really early
Yeah.
for you to.
My grandma she was a big inspiration to me. Rest in peace. She basically like used to drill me into like certain songs. Like we used to sing like R. Kelly. She used to have me just repeat R. Kelly songs. Joe in the kitchen, just I was practicing
R&B.
vocals. I was 11 years old, practicing vocals in the kitchen. So she was a big inspiration on me becoming not only an artist, but the range and the broadness of my music is not one dimensional. So
Wow.
You do a lot of
sing?
interviews?
no. Not really, not necessarily. I
He's
wouldn't
just
say. I wouldn't
very
say. I wouldn't say
intelligent,
no.
very well
I wouldn't say no. Like I never do them, but it's not like
You winning like
He's just a very intelligent, well-spoken
I appreciate it.
individual.
Yeah.
You could tell he's prepared and
I
God is
appreciate
prepared.
it.
him.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. To God,
So,
God is good.
you gave us a little slate of inspiration growing up. You said you heard Joe. What other songs do you remember? Or when was the first time you fell in love with hip hop? What song was it more so?
The first time I fell in love with hip hop, I think it might have been Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
And this is old Jay-Z, like Jigga,
Reasonable
what's
Doubt.
my motherfucking
Right,
name?
that
Jigga.
album.
Yeah, so I when I first got into that era, DMX, that time I was a good I don't know, 6. I was with my dad, and he was just playing a lot of locks and stuff like that.
that's when music was
Yeah,
music.
yeah, and I didn't really know that I was falling in love with it until I started writing, and then I was like, oh, I like this, and then next thing I know, it just never, left me. So
That's very interesting.
So when did you get the interest of being behind the camera?
So the first time I ever got behind the camera, it was 2012, and the reason why is because I was paying for a lot of music videos at the time. I got dozens of videos on YouTube right now. Go check it out. Type in Tre Prada on YouTube. But I was spending a lot of money on videos, and some of them were coming out good, great, and some of them was flag is not really meeting my expectations. So I was like, I felt as though I could learn and do it myself. I'm like, shit, you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. So I bought my first camera. I took, saved up a couple of dollars, bought my first camera, and I just been putting in work ever since. I've learned everything off of YouTube.
I was just about to say
everything off of YouTube.
teaches everybody everything.
You don't need college anymore. You don't really need to go to college,
YouTube
right?
is a university. YouTube University. Seriously.
YouTube don't show you how to have
Coin
sex,
that and
talk.
freaking trademark it, because that is money right there.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I said it first.
They probably thought about it, but YouTube.
Yeah.
Trademark that. Go ahead and make some money. Right. So major versus independent. How you feel? What would you do?
I mean, I really feel like it's about the right situation. You know what I mean? If I'm when I get into a situation and I feel like God would move, you know, the vibes in the room, like, you know what I mean? So if I feel like it's genuine, the paperwork makes sense, then, you know, we'll see what the deal looking like. Otherwise, independent is definitely like, you know, number one. But, you know, situation coming and makes sense, it makes sense.
On the table.
So, who is your top 5 artists?
In the industry or just period?
Just period.
Period in life.
Tre.
Hey, that's lit.
Tre Prada,
okay.
Tre Prada. All right, so
Cause you would have heard the earlier talking about Jay-Z, Jadakiss,
I'm in it to win, man.
Big L.
Yeah.
Right. That's fact.
I come from the era. I come from the era of like, this is a competition. I'm coming to bite your head off. I got bars and my shit is, you know what I mean, ready to go. So what's up?
So we can get an acapella later, right?
If you want.
I'm not mad.
I like that.
I'm not mad. Let's get
You be
into
having
the
some
next-
artists up here talking about, you got a beat. No, nigga, there's no beat up here.
Right.
Listen,
we get
see,
into it.
real recognize real. The next song, which probably is the real me, is Reckless.
He's very reckless.
By Tre Prada,
And
yo.
before we get into Reckless, I want to say the video. We just released the video last night. It's out right now. It's
Wow.
What
crazy.
was the premise on Reckless, and what was the purpose behind that?
Okay, so Reckless is basically a song about police brutality, what people went through to get to where we at right now, the hardships we're facing, why we're facing them, what we could do to change them, what we tried to do to change them, the opposition that, you know, stood in our way, but, you know, we persevere. So that's really what it's basically about in the video, and tells that and shows all of that. So it's pretty dope, man. Go check that out right now, Reckless.
And where can they find this video at?
It's on YouTube right now. It's on Facebook too, but yeah, definitely go to the YouTube link.
Facts.
So we're gonna get into it right now on the Drop Night Show on With Ice Radio. It's Tre Prada with Reckless off of that new LP. Y'all make sure y'all cop that. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yo, and we back. That was Tre Prada record called Reckless. We need more records like that, man, because it's
know
like
what, I'm gonna tell you why
we going through a lot out
specifically
here.
like that
that's
song. Like, we were back behind the scenes talking and listening to the song, but there was one particular quote that he mentioned in this song where I feel like you might have some Tupac tendencies with you, my brother. He said, if you speaking out about it, then you probably have a death wish. Now, if that ain't some real shit right there, like, yeah, you giving me those vibes, like the Tupac.
That. That's amazing.
Obviously, he had to have some impact on.
Yeah.
But when you talk like that, like you said, you're putting yourself as almost to the key of like
Talking
a
to
martyr.
Mike.
You're putting yourself to the key of almost I don't need you to reiterate. A martyr. Like, I'm gonna be honest and talk about what's really going on. And if I gotta die, so be it.
Yeah.
How passionate are you about the movement of all of this that's going on with the injustice? And we talked about it a little bit, but after hearing this song, I only have to talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I seen you post a couple things on your social media with referring to Kaepernick and all this stuff going on. How passionate? Like, is that really a real thing for you?
Yeah, I feel like.
And you said if it's a platform it's your duty to talk about it.
Right.
But could that lead you to the point where you're like standing next to a Van Jones and you're that's what I see. Like,
yeah, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, as us as like not only black people but like humans, we have to educate ourselves. And if we want a world where we don't have to worry about not being able to speak up, or we want a world where, you know, I want to be able to get an equal job, equal pay, or I want, you know, to start prison reform, you know what I mean? If we want these things to happen, one, we have to educate ourselves, and then two, we have to have the conversation. So if nobody has the conversation, how can we stop racism? If nobody talks about racism, then how could it ever, you know what I mean, cease to exist? Or at least be like, it's an elephant in the room, but let's try. Yeah, let's try.
Right.
How are we gonna get equal pay if no one says shit? I've been at this job for I don't know how many years. I still ain't get a raise. somebody got to talk about it. So
why do you think people are afraid to talk about certain things?
I mean, I feel like it's when someone, I feel like I look at life like, you know, there's bullies and then there's the underdog, and then there's people that, you know, they're the I wouldn't use the word cowards, but they're scared. So somebody has to stand up to the bully and say, listen, you might beat me the fuck up, but I'm willing to get hit, just so this person or this future generation will be able to live life accordingly. So I feel like at the end of the day, somebody got to be the underdog. You know what I mean? In every situation. And,
I hear that.
You know, that's
real. That's real talk. Someone has to be the underdog. Who's going to be the one to say, you know what, fuck this. It's not about my look. It's not about what I'm wearing or what the fuck. I'm talking about some real shit right here. And I love that you're passionate about that. And the fact that you can also cross over and make some party joints like John. You know what I mean? How important is it for you to, as an artist, to be versatile and be able to come across on different platforms for individuals? Like, when I think of a future, I think of future as like, okay, when I want to get into a trance and just talk about drugs and fucking, I want to listen to Future.
Right.
How do you feel about, as an artist, to be able to like cross platforms and be able to, you know?
So I personally feel like being a musician, we're told to make this type of music because this is what people want and this is what they will know you for. But I feel like when you put that in the atmosphere, you create, you block the creativity. Now, at the end of the day, we're all humans, so we also have different moods. So if I'm only talking about lean and drugs, there's going to be a time you don't want to hear that. So I feel like it's more marketable and more profitable for me to be multi-talented and to be multifaceted in conversation and making songs. So I feel like I would be more of an asset than, I won't say artist name, but I wouldn't call them mumble rappers, but people who aren't as versatile, because, you know, you'll be getting
mumble rappers.
Hey, mumble rappers.
Like, let's call it spade.
But even a quote unquote conscious rapper, some conscious rappers can't make songs, and some people won't be able to listen to a conscious rapper for so long because they want to turn up and they can't transcend into something else. So I feel like it's definitely important to be multi-talented, multifaceted in your craft, period.
Facts.
What lane is Tre Prada in?
I mean, I wouldn't put myself in the lane. I feel like it's like a pack of Skittles. Like, you know what I mean? You might get a sour John. You might get a sweet John. But at the end of the day, you're going to buy that pack of Skittles, though, because it's the variety that you fuck with. You know what I mean? So
I like Tre Prada.
Hey.
So if someone came to you with a check, right?
It said, we want you to only talk about killing, rapping, and fucking and money.
I guess I ain't getting a check.
You were really, it's all about the integrity for you.
I feel like it's about the creative lane. If I'm a creator and you're telling me I can't create this type of, you know, music, or I create this type of, you know, video because, you know, X amount of dollars is on the line, then you're not for me. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm for the people. So at the end of the day,
well, when we say that, we have to refer to a Kanye, because here Kanye has made remarks about Donald Trump and black and slavery being, you know, a choice. But he still, yet again, has always been known as Kanye being this multifaceted, non-controllable individual. That's what you refer yourself, or would you?
I wouldn't compare myself to a Kanye.
Okay.
And the reason why I wouldn't compare myself to a Kanye is because Kanye is Kanye. People put like these people on a pedestal like they're not human. Kanye is going through whatever he's going through, and that's why you're hearing him say the things he says. You know what I mean? It's not that Kanye isn't the same Kanye that he was. He's just a human, so he's going through whatever he's going through. You know what I mean? Whether he's dealing with, you know, family issues.
And a lot of it had to do with marketing ploy too. I feel like he said those things to get a rise.
Oh,
he had
for
albums
sure.
dropping. He had people.
He's smart.
Yeah, so it's all calculated to the sense.
Would you do things like that for marketing purposes?
Well, me personally, I wouldn't say that Kanye's doing it for marketing. That's your opinion.
Yeah. I'm saying this from K Wonder on the Drop Night Show. Kanye does a lot of things calculated. He's a very marketing genius to the sense. And all that
And I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying he
all that shit he said might have had some real connotation to it and his belief, but it was definitely a marketing ploy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just the type of person that go off of like strictly facts. I don't. So I would have to literally be in Kanye's camp and hear Kanye say, "Yo, we gonna do this shit for some marketing promo." Like, you know what I mean? So unless I heard that, I can't personally say that.
Okay, so
and that's just me though. Like that's just how I am personally.
And you know what? You might, and I'm gonna let you have that. And that's personally how you feel. So moving away from Kanye, you're from Philly. How do you feel about the Philadelphia music industry overall and individually? How do you feel about it?
I mean, I feel as though at the end of the day, first of all, shout out to everybody in Philly that's doing their thing. But I also feel like we need more. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like we need more. And I feel like
support among each other?
we need some more support among each other. People need to put their guards down, their egos down. People that's in the positions of power need to, I would say, look for genuine talent and not so much the Philly sound, because I feel like there's a quote unquote Philly sound, and I feel like
who falls under that?
Yeah,
I mean the Beanie Siegels, the Billies, like at the end of the day, that's the Philly sound at the end of the day. But I feel like also what we gotta understand is places like Atlanta, New York, they're so diverse, and we don't give, like, it took Uzi like to leave Philly to become who he is today. It took Meek leaving Philly to become who he is today. So I feel like if we had a hub where we were like, listen, Philly gonna be the new Atlanta, or Philly gonna be the new York, it would be crazy. Like killings probably would go down, you know, murders would go down, all that stuff. Poverty would cease, because at the end of the day, we got something to look forward to. Philly don't got nothing to look forward to.
Oh, wow. All right, let's get into another song right now. We're still in our, this is a really dope interview right now with Tre Prada, Philly's own. We're getting into another song. This is an artist by the name of M. Flair. He's a dope artist out of Delaware, which is making a lot of waves. He has a song.
Hiya!
That's his little hashtag. He has a song out called Brand New Car. We're going to get that in right now on the Drop Night Show on Wood Ice Radio. Let's go! It's the Drop Night Show. I'm your girl, K Wonder, with my co-host, Sean BC.
Yeah.
Yo, we are having an amazing show tonight. We have Tre Prada, Uptown Philly's own, in the building. He's talking about his new project coming out, or is out, which everyone should go and definitely
get it.
Support right now. The name of the album is
Time Reveals Everything.
And that is the most factual thing I've ever heard.
How many tracks on there?
18.
Wow.
18.
Yeah.
Wow. And he does some
Boy,
visuals.
if you were signed to a major, ain't no 18.
Ain't no 18?
I don't know.
No. When the last time you
Chris
see that?
Brown
He
put
did
out
35.
25
That's
fucking
an R&B artist. We talking about rap.
I don't know. Joyner Lucas just dropped like 17 on him.
There we
And
go.
Eminem
he's
dropped
not
it, yeah.
signed
He
no
didn't
more.
get 18. He did
He's not
17, but
signed
not
no more.
18.
Eminem just dropped like 18, 17 Jones, right?
He's irrelevant. Now,
No, he's not. How dare you? How dare you? Oh,
MGK just killed him.
but
Let's talk about
But
it.
M is M though.
No.
That's
no.
like saying Jay-Z not relevant no more.
Let somebody come and kill him. Like,
No, but no.
not relevant.
That's motherfucker two-faced as
Eminem
shit.
is not relevant.
Yo, 2 shows ago, you literally was like,
Eminem is not
MJK is not all that he's cracked up. You had so much rap.
No. I
right,
said he
you were-
killed him.
You
Don't-
were an Eminem fan 2 shows ago.
No,
my
no,
nigga.
No, I wasn't.
We gonna play that back.
Yeah, play it
That
back.
Kill Shot was fire,
Anyway,
though. I'm sorry.
listen.
Kill Shot was
He's
fire.
so goddamn.
What?
Kill Shot was fire.
Bro.
Kill Shot was fire. I'm sorry. Y'all probably wasn't listening to the bars.
Okay, so
Oh, I heard him.
This is my thing.
Yeah.
You're a quality content person, right?
Yeah. I would say so.
Now we know that when Eminem does a lot of songs, it's about I got the Mac and I put it back and and he's just like a rhymer.
He's like a Cameron.
Okay, if you like to call
I'm trying to
it.
say Koopy Stoopy, Goopy
Doopy,
Doopy,
dubby,
Goopy
dubby, give me the scoopy, and I'm on the scoopy, and when I pick you up in this whoopty. Nah, fuck the camera. Camera got style. Okay, it's all art, right?
Yeah.
But you're to me, I'm content. I need content. That's why I'm like, I'm Nas versus Jay-Z. Don't get me wrong. Jay-Z definitely talks his shit.
Yeah.
But Nas just paints a better story for me, and it just sounds.
That 444 was pretty vivid. How could you not?
Right.
That was
vivid.
but it
Right.
was so long overdue, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nas, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like Jay-Z, don't get me wrong. Like I love him. His Reasonable Doubt to me is his best album.
Yeah.
That was the best. Like I remember, man, all the shit I did in my life. I tell you. So I wanted to ask you this. We appreciate you. We're getting to the end of the show. I want to talk about some real shit. Tell me, as an independent artist, and speaking to other artists who are listening or watching right now, what feedback or what advice do you have to artists who are coming up, and whether they're producers or they're writers or they're artists, period, just rapper, singer, whatever? What advice do you have about adversity and staying true and passionate about your craft, because it can be difficult?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the first thing that up and coming artists and entertainers need to keep in mind is that this industry is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You know what I mean? So if you get into it thinking you're going to be a 6ix9ine Tekashi getting on next year, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's people that's been grinding for 10 years 15 years and still aren't where they want to be. They're close, but they gotta understand, like, it's this overnight success shit. It looks good, but keep in mind he got all types of stuff going on in the background that make it look and feel that it was overnight, but it probably wasn't. You know what I mean? So I would say that, keep in mind it is a marathon. On top of that, can you answer the question again? Just to...
So basically, like, hurdles and getting, I'm sure you've been in for a while. It couldn't have all been good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Down to the people you have around you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
definitely.
Like a crowd versus not. You know, what advice do you have for people coming up?
So also, you're gonna get told no a lot, man. But that you gotta roll with the punches, because at the end of the day, once you realize that this is what you want, that's it. There's no plan B. Like, people be like, "What you gonna do if rapping don't work?" What you mean? It's gonna work. It ain't no plan B. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's gonna work.
Right.
And that's all. I feel like once you make a plan B, you're setting yourself up to lose.
Right.
So
Yeah.
period.
So how do you feel about performing? What is that feeling like for you?
It's invigorating, man. When you get on that stage, I feel like it's just like one of the best feelings, period. Like, it's like the ultimate high without being, being on. It's just like seeing a bunch of people, whether they rocking with you or not, you gotta make them rock with you. Like, you know what I mean? Just having that power to get somebody to put their hands up, or having that power to get somebody to scream for you. That's
That's
crazy.
hard.
That's power.
That's power, but
No
that's
one
hard.
man should have all that
Power.
power.
Yeah. Social media, how important is it for you as an independent artist?
Social media is probably like the number one,
But
key
you got
these
it
days.
easy. You got
Look how times have
14K up there.
changed.
Yeah, I mean, that was years though. Like, I've been on Instagram from the beginning, putting out content. So
Really?
it's not like I just started Instagram. Like, hey, I'm gonna start doing, like, I've been putting my music stuff on there since the beginning. I remember when they first brung video to Instagram. I'm like, oh shit, we can do videos on the gram now. And we didn't, so it was like, now we can do 60 seconds. You know what I mean? So I've been there from the beginning, but it's like I said, it's a marathon, man. So meeting with people, having different, discussions, different interviews, management. You know what I mean? It's work. It's work. So,
Yo, what's your DM look like?
my DM dry, man. Don't get me in trouble.
Oh!
My
He
DM
said, I ain't got nothing about it.
DM
So you
dry.
intertwine with your followers. You're not like having someone. You're not second removed. You're involved.
Yeah, I try to respond as much as I can. I get people asking me for advice all the time.
Okay.
Yo, Trey, and I try my best to like tell them like, yo, work. You know what I mean? Do what you can.
Did you go to college?
No.
Wow.
You smart.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That means a lot. I appreciate that.
We
Wow.
consistent with smart people up here.
Yeah, and that goes to show that school really is a scam. But all right, that's another show.
Let's talk.
That's a whole
Y'all gonna have to bring me back up, because I would
nother
love to
show.
get in that conversation.
We gonna have to
Yeah,
bring you up
bring
for
me
that
back.
one.
Yeah.
But listen, we greatly appreciate you.
Likewise.
Let everyone know where they can stay in touch with you,
Yeah.
where they find your music,
Yeah.
and any performances or anything you have coming out.
Right now, I got a performance on the 13th of October, I believe. If not the 13th and the 19th, don't get me lying. It's one of the two.
Okay.
To check. But it's shout out to my man Ayo. So we're doing his album release. I'm opening up for him. It's gonna be pretty dope. Other than that, the album's out right now. iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, all the major platforms.
Time reveals.
Yeah, time reveals
everything.
Make sure y'all go watch Reckless right now on YouTube. It's important that you watch that video.
And why?
it's just it's gonna give you life. It's one of those videos that you just see it like I've literally been having people like over the last day.
And you directed it, right?
Yeah, directed. My man Lance Steven over here helped
Shout
direct
out to
it.
Lance Steven.
Yeah. My girl having time, but she helped me direct it. Shout out to my mom, Kai Cannon. She also
Your mom's name's Kai?
Yes.
I love her.
Yeah, shout out to my mom. She was also one of the executive producers on the album. I mean,
Wow.
on the video. So it was a lot of work, man.
Yo, he had Mom Dukes involved with the video.
Yeah, man,
okay,
that's
how real is that?
Yeah. Shout out to my manager too. Shout out to my manager, which is my mom, and JCon. I mean Jay Davis. We out here, man, working. Follow me.
JCon has the other artist from J26, right?
He managed
What's it?
Brian.
Brian, okay.
Yeah.
He's he's 1/3 of the manager team for Project 215.
Wow.
Yeah.
JCon.
We working, baby.
You got a tight clique.
We
I
working.
really, salute to the clique. You know what I mean? Family too.
Yeah.
Listen, what's your social media?
At Tre Prada, everything is at Tre Prada, TrePrada.
You better start hashtagging Prada in your posts.
I know, right?
Yeah. Would you wear it? Are you a Prada fan?
I used to like that was another thing. Like I did used to wear a lot of Prada, and then I got older, and I was like, I'm not going to keep spending $500.
Right.
Like it's just like I started investing into my craft. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It was like
Smart.
people that be on the bus, they got Gucci on. It's just like, bro,
You broke.
yeah, get your. So I stopped buying all the Prada and Gucci, man. I just started investing. So
Real
that's
quick,
major.
before we let you go,
Mhm.
I have to ask you, we've been speaking about this all night.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had the conversation with Steven Jackson. Shout out to the NBA legend. Bill Cosby. How do you feel about that? He's now in jail.
Some people probably gonna be mad.
Speak your
Yes,
piece,
and some
baby.
people probably gonna
This is
feel me.
what the Drop Night Show and Water Ice Radio is for. We come here to drop knowledge, drop facts,
Yeah.
drop comments, drop opinions. You know what I mean? This is what we do.
So my problem with the Bill Cosby situation is it's not about if he did it or didn't do it. It's the lack of evidence that he did or didn't do it. So when we start getting into an era of time where we can just go off of somebody's word, then we have a whole mess of people imprisoned or worse because I said so. I said you did it. So it's not about if he did or did it. It's the due process that wasn't done. It wasn't, beyond a reasonable doubt. That's my problem.
Okay. Real quick. Now,
What was the evidence of the drugs?
mind you, he and I broke this down to you, right? Earlier, you might have not listened, but we have Bill Cosby. I feel like we know Bill Cosby, the Avatar. It was basically Dr. Huxtable.
Why you can't get that man
I
name
can't
right?
talk. I'm tongue-tied.
You done
It's
butcher
Dr.
name.
Huxtable.
You done butcher Ella May name.
Oh, man.
What the hell is going on?
It's Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable.
Oh, man.
It's Huxtable. Dr. Huxtable.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bill. So it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What we portray his avatar to be is this guy who, he had the Puddin' Pops. He had Fat Albert. He had, the Cosby Show. He gave to all these prestigious colleges and has monuments about him. But we don't know what he was, or we might have a clue of what he was doing behind the scenes, okay? He then, the real Bill, always talked about Spanish Fly. It's on record. Him talking about Spanish Fly and giving it to girls. It's on record that he did have a illegitimate child, Autumn Jackson. It's on file. It's on record. Then we all know he played with the Playboy Mansion all the time. We know he was there in that era all the time. He created a show where he was a doctor, a gynecologist who went in the basement and played with women's pussies in his basement. So it's like you got to think of all of this stuff on top of these 65 women all saying the same pattern that I woke up and naked and I didn't. Now, as to whether they
Let
went,
him answer the question.
I'm saying whether they went willingly or they didn't is different. But you crossed the line when you drugged me. You know what I mean? Because you didn't have to do. I feel like personally, he never had to do that. You were powerful on TV, and you had money.
What was the police reports? What was the police reports that he did these things?
whether some women gave police reports, but then they got shunned because maybe they were in communication. One lady, the lady that looked like the man, the white lady, she only messed up because she still was in communication with him after the fact, but she was specifically seeking out to pin him to the wall, and it fell through.
Right.
Then all these other women started coming out, and they found one to stick on a retrial.
Right.
Now I hear what you're saying.
What is your opinion about this whole situation?
I feel like Bill Cosby's situation, like some things, like it's like I don't know, I forget if it was the Casey Anthony case where it was like we don't know if she killed her daughter, but like it looked like she did, but we just didn't wait to find out if she really did or not. Like in situations like that people are going to have to live with.
Like OJ.
We never going to know if he did or didn't do it.
Right.
But he know and God know.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'll leave it at that, because when we start saying he did or didn't do it without having evidence, that's when we gotta look at ourselves. Like I can't put that man in jail or say that man did something or put dirt on his name and I don't know for a fact. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like due process is big, and it was there for a reason.
Do you believe everything that is in the dark comes to the light?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
And I feel like sometimes it's not for men to deal with. You know what I mean? Like
true. God can be the judge, but when you come to something like rape, just like I feel like with all we know, he's dealing Catholic over 300 Catholic priests who are walking around free, but we all know that they have over 300 cases of, you know, so it's a sensitive topic. But if you were wrong,
right, exactly, and that's why I kind of like not try to exactly. That's why I try not to really go into it too much, because as a man that has never been touched before, it's a touchy subject. You know what I mean?
You don't have no kids.
I do have a son.
Okay. So
it's kind of like I understand it's a tender topic to even talk about, and if you don't know,
but we have to talk about it.
I mean, you got to talk about it, but I'm saying when you don't have the full
facts and
you know what I mean. So for me to say he didn't do it, and some people who stick to it, he didn't do it. I know my man Bill didn't do it, and then some people are like, I know he did do it. You know what I mean? That's when we start going in it.
I feel like if he didn't do it, we wouldn't be here today talking about it.
That's not true. We look at stuff like people that have been wrongly accused, black men that's in jail right now for stuff they didn't do. You know what I mean? That was falsely accused.
I feel you. We're going to leave it there. I will leave it with this. Don't put your faith in men. God said it in the Bible. Put your faith in me. So everybody, make sure y'all keep God first and do the right thing. Tre Prada, we thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate y'all.
It was amazing. We are here every Thursday in the Drop Night Show, 8 p.m. on Water Ice Radio. We have the illest platform. Every show that we have, for the most part, can be seen on the newsstands throughout the city, as well as on our YouTube page and our relationship with Boom Philly. And now,
you hear us on iHeartRadio.
Hey.
Woo!
Let's go.
It's a major win. So, we'll see you again next Thursday. Everybody be peace. Everybody be blessed. And we're out.